Okay, let's dive into this explainer and see if we can crack the code on why people act the way they do at work. If you've ever wondered why one employee completely thrives under pressure while another one just shuts down, you're actually observing organizational behavior in real time. Today, we're going to look at a highly foundational, yet honestly kind of flawed academic framework that tries to map all this out. We're going to break it down, see exactly where it fails, and then upgrade it to actually fit the modern workplace. We've got to start with this brilliant observation from the psychologist Kurt Lewin. He established right out of the gate that workplace behavior doesn't just happen in a vacuum. It's an equation. Behavior is a function of the person and the environment. Simply put, who you are, combined with where you are, dictates what you do. Sounds super simple, right? But mapping out exactly how that equation plays out on a random Tuesday morning is where things get really complicated.
Section 1, Organizational Behavior 1.0, the basics.
To solve this whole behavioral equation, let's look at the basic operating system of human resources theory. It's called the SOBC sequence. Think of it as a simple linear cause and effect chain to explain how internal and external factors influence us. You have your stimulus. That's the external event. Then the organism. That's the person. Next is the behavior, what the person actually does. And finally, the consequences, what happens as a result of that behavior. It's a very clean point A to point B pathway.
Now, you might be wondering about that word organism. It sounds highly academic, right? Almost like we're in a biology lab. But in this context, it just means the messy, unpredictable human element. We aren't robots. When an event happens at work, it gets filtered through your unique personality, your current attitude, and your personal motivations. This is exactly why two people can sit through the exact same meeting and walk away with completely different reactions. The organism makes us all interpret things differently.
Let's move to a practical example and see how this builds in the real world. Imagine a hypothetical scenario where an employee is introduced to a brand new performance bonus at work. How does this basic model track that? If we map it out over time, it's very easy to see the model in action. On day 1, the new incentive is announced. That's our stimulus. By week 1, the employee's internal filter kicks in. They process the bonus structure and perceive it as fair. There's the organism at work. Over month 1, because they feel motivated, their behavior shifts to higher productivity. There's the behavior. And finally, at the end of the quarter, the consequence is the payout. They get the bonus. So, why do we use this? Well, this straightforward logic is actually fantastic because it gives managers a basic conceptual framework. It's simple, it's logical, and it helps predict behavior. It forms the bedrock for basic HR practices, like performance appraisals and reward systems, while still acknowledging that individual differences exist. Basically, the idea is, if you want to modify behavior, you just change the stimulus or the consequence.
Section 2, the bare bones glitch. Limitations of version 1.0.
Here is where this basic model totally hits a wall. In reality, it's just a bare-bones sketch. When we compare the isolated individual focus of the 1.0 model to the actual chaotic reality of modern work, the cracks really start to show. The basic model assumes behavior is a straight line happening to an isolated individual. But let's be real, the modern workplace is driven by complex group dynamics, emotional intelligence, and rapid, unpredictable change. The basic model describes a single event well, but it definitely doesn't explain real-world office life. There are just so many missing variables. The 1.0 model completely ignores massive everyday influences. It doesn't factor in company culture at all. It neglects the informal groups and team dynamics that govern so much of our day. It ignores the power of leadership styles, it totally overlooks emotional intelligence, and it pretends the external environment, like the economy or changing technology, isn't even a factor. Plus, there are literally no feedback loops. Section 3. Upgrading to version 2.0, the enriched model. To survive in today's dynamic knowledge economy, we need to patch these bugs and upgrade to a framework that actually looks like the companies we work in. So let's check out the v2.0 patch notes. To enrich this model, we actively incorporate these previously missing pieces right into the environment. We embed the company's culture. We add in transformational leadership, leaders who actually inspire their teams. We include team cohesion, integrate emotional intelligence into the organism stage, and finally factor in the shifting external environment, like society, laws, and tech.
When you do this upgraded, richer environment fosters advanced concepts like organizational citizenship behavior. That's a fancy academic term for when employees go above and beyond their basic job descriptions. They help a struggling colleague, or they stay late to fix a problem nobody even asked them to fix. And they don't do this because of a simple stimulus and reward transaction. They do it because the overall culture, the team dynamics, and the leadership support and inspire it. And this brilliantly illustrates the most vital upgrade in our 2.0 model, introducing a feedback mechanism. The sequence isn't a straight line anymore. It's a continuous loop. When a consequence is experienced in step 1, it leads to learning and updated experience in step 2. That fresh experience then becomes the new stimulus in step 3. Your reaction to your bonus today actually changes how you perceive your job tomorrow. It's a living, breathing cycle.
Section 4. Modern Workplace Reality, the complete picture. With these crucial additions in place, we transform that basic sketch into a comprehensive map of modern workplace reality. The enriched model seamlessly integrates behavior across all levels. You just can't look at the individual level with their personal motivation and perception in isolation anymore. You have to layer on the group level, considering team cohesion and communication. Above that, the organization level dictates culture and leadership. And finally, the massive environment level surrounds all of it, factoring in the economy and technology. Every single piece interacts simultaneously to drive how someone acts on the job.
So as you look at your own organization and the way you or your coworkers act, you really have to ask yourself a big question. Are you just treating the symptoms by tossing out a new stimulus? Or are you upgrading the whole system and shaping the entire environment? Think about it for a second. Because understanding that difference is absolutely crucial to decoding and ultimately improving the modern workplace.